Theresa May has failed to achieve the most important goal she set herself after delaying the vote on her Brexit deal last month. Assurances from Brussels on the Northern Ireland backstop, laid out in a letter today, do not go far enough to allay the concerns of the Democratic Unionist Party. Her failure on this front means that, far from being reassured, the DUP is now unsettled. Nigel Dodds, the party leader at Westminster, says, rather than reassure us, the Tusk and Juncker letter bolsters our concerns. The DUP response represents a blow to the Prime Minister, who pledged to win back the Unionists after winning the vote of confidence in her leadership last month. Downing SD regards the DUP as dominoes. With the Unionists on board, Tory Brexiteers would fall into line, her deal would stand a good chance of passing, and the Prime Minister would have a viable way of governing up until the next scheduled election in 2022. The EU's declaration that it will not renegotiate the withdrawal agreement, nor offer clarifications that undermine it, came as little surprise to the DUP. The Unionists had been told by a senior figure in No 10 that the Prime Minister had not formally tabled their demands on the backstop, the insurance policy against a hard border which would tie Northern Ireland into the EU's orbit if the UK and the EU failed to negotiate a future relationship by the end of the transition period. The DUP wanted one of three demands on the backstop: scrap it, secure an end date, or secure a unilateral exit mechanism. In her letter to the EU, the Prime Minister floated the last two of these demands but made clear she had not formally tabled them. Nigel Dodds said, despite a letter of supposed reassurance from the European Union, there are no legally binding assurances as the Prime Minister talked about in December. In fact, there is nothing new. Nothing has changed. The DUP was always highly unlikely to support the Northern Ireland backstop for one very simple reason. It would mean that Northern Ireland would be treated differently to the rest of the UK, placing it in the EU customs union and largely within the single market. Assurances from No 10 that there would be one single UK customs territory cut no ice with the DUP.